This year marks 40 years of total defense in Singapore. It recognizes the role every sector of society plays in the nation's security. During the COVID-19 pandemic, for example, it provided a framework to mobilize efforts and facilitated a whole-of-nation response. When COVID-19 hit, Singapore Armed Forces personnel were mobilized to help the Health Ministry with contact tracing and stay-home notice enforcement works. Some SAF camps were also converted into community recovery facilities. Now, at the same time, the Singapore Civil Defence Force also assisted authorities with swab testing and temperature screening at checkpoints. They also worked around the clock to convey COVID-19 patients to hospitals. With the pandemic disrupting global supply chains and halting travel, measures were put in place to build Singapore's economic resilience. And these included the Job Support Scheme and guides on business continuity planning for companies. During any crisis, solidarity is key. Singaporeans played their part by being socially responsible and adhering to mask-wearing and safe distancing measures. Ground-up initiatives also supported communities in need. Digital defense was the sixth pillar added in 2019, just in time to counter falsehoods that were rife during the pandemic. Correction orders were issued to clarify misinformation, and authorities disseminated information only through verified channels.
There were also Singaporeans who stepped up to demonstrate digital defense in action. There was a lot of fake news. For example, a group of youth from NTU started this program called Sure or Not that was meant to help the elderly discern whether the media they were reading was real or fake.
And lastly, on psychological defense, a multi-ministry task force was set up to give direction and assurance to Singaporeans. Charities and community groups also came together to offer care and support to the more vulnerable. As threats continue to evolve, total defense will need to adapt as well.
One of the changes that total defense has undergone is the shift away from us merely telling people what total defense is to garnering actions and initiatives from the community. For the 40th anniversary of total defense this year, MINDEF launched a readiness exercise. This was a very concrete way of getting people to appreciate what total defense in action means. And I think we're hopeful that we can continue to hold more runs of this exercise.
Writing the theme song for then five-pillar national defense concept all those years ago is one thing. How the Total Defense campaign has changed the songwriter's life is quite another story. Claudia Lim speaks to the man behind the song, There's a Part for Everyone.
Gerald Peng was just starting out in an advertising agency 40 years ago. Because of his musical talents, he was tasked to come up with a song for the Defence Ministry's new campaign, one to rally ordinary Singaporeans so that they too know that they have a part to play. And even till today, the lyrics still has a place in his heart.
There's a part for everyone in this land that we belong. There's a part for one and all to keep the peace we want. Though not all will carry arms to help defend our land, we must all do what we can together, hand in hand.
Mr. Peng's assignment struck a chord and inspired him to do more. 16 years ago, he opened Soul Food, a restaurant hiring those who are differently abled.
Now, even as our country is so developed and we have come to a point where it's not just about economic, it's not just about the military, it's not just about the civil, but the social aspect, our social fabric must not be compromised in a sense, and we should not leave anybody out.
He says the social pillar resonated with him the most, having lived through the 1960s racial riots and seeing firsthand how fragile society could be.
The social pillar in the five pillars that says that it involves respect. It involves harmony. It involves bringing the people, a nation that's multiracial, people of a different background, different aspects of their upbringing and their culture coming together.
Mr. Peng says he never expected that one work assignment would still be relevant today. He hopes it will continue to empower Singaporeans now and in the future.